Elon Musk sticking to his defense of free speech one day after Twitter accepted the offer to acquire the company for $44 billion. Musk tweeted this yesterday, quote, "The extreme antibody reaction from those who fear free speech says it all." Joining me right now is the CEO of GETTR, Jason Miller, who's been all about free speech from day one. Jason, great to see you.
Maria, good morning.
How do you feel now? I mean, things getting a little crowded here in this free speech space?
They are. Well, anyone who supports free speech should be supporting what Elon Musk is trying to do. This is a good thing for someone to stand with the big tech and say, we need to go and take back our free speech rights. The issue with Elon Musk and with Twitter is Elon Musk is the greatest innovator of our generation. Maybe potentially you could say in history what he's done. The problem with Twitter isn't a technological one. This isn't an innovation problem. It's a cultural one. And that's something that, as genius as Elon Musk is, I think he's going to find out it's easier to land a rocket on Mars than change the culture of Twitter.
That's a great point. So what is he going to do? Does he have to fire everybody? I mean, how do you change that culture?
Well, and that's the thing, is that this isn't about just clearing out the CEO or the chief marketing person. You literally have to remove every moderation director, every coder, every engineer. Maria, you've probably seen the headlines yesterday in Bloomberg saying that they've already had to put guards in place. When I say figurative guards in place, to prevent coders and engineers from messing with the platform. Literally, we've seen the freakouts that are happening from Twitter, and there's a reason they're going to push back and resist every bit of change he tries to bring.
We've all seen changes. How many followers did you gain in 6? I gained 30,000 in 24 hours. What happened to you?
20,000.
20,000. So I was like, is somebody trying to cover their tracks now that Elon's about to walk in the door?
Well, first of all, I think a lot of folks, especially in the center and center right, who've been mad about the political discrimination, are coming back to Twitter. They view Elon Musk as the savior. One of the things to keep in mind, though, is it's going to take at least 6 months, we're assuming, to get the deal completely done. So we might not actually see the policy changes with Twitter happen until after the midterms. That's the big challenge.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason. What do you think about this tweet from Elon Musk that he just put up to his 87 million followers yesterday? Quote, "Truth Social is currently beating Twitter and TikTok on the Apple Store." Why is he talking about a competitor like that in Donald Trump's Truth Social?
He's the ultimate troll, and that's part of the fun thing with Twitter, is get out there and, as they say, dunking on the libs. And so I think no one does it better than Elon Musk. And look, he's one of the best all-time great online personalities.
Yeah, he literally owns the libs now.
Literally,
he literally bought the company. Do you think it's a money-making opportunity for him, or is this really just about free speech? Because in the end, he is a capitalist.
He is a capitalist. Here's the challenge. Twitter's never lived up to, say, where Facebook or some of the other platforms, Google, YouTube, have been on the social media side. And part of it, I think Megan McArdle from the Washington Post wrote a column last November 30th that said Twitter's business model is misery. This is part of the challenge. It's not a fun user experience. It's part of the reason why we launched GETTR, give people a more positive environment. You can't even look at the comments anymore on Twitter. It's negativity. There's so many bots. But I think it's great that Musk is trying to go and take them on and try to change it. The issue is, can it be changed? I fundamentally don't think so.
Well, look, the American people were really at a disadvantage right before the election. We know this because there is a serious story of influence peddling, which was censored by Twitter. And now we're getting more information about all of the money Hunter Biden and his family, Joe Biden, Jim Biden, Jill Biden, they all took money in from officials in China, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan. Here's the latest now. We know longtime Hunter Biden business partner Eric Schwerin visited the White House at least 24 times, but here's 8 times in 2016 alone, bringing the number of visits during the Obama administration to 27. Jason, the White House press secretary Jen Psaki, she dodged the question yesterday. Listen to what she said. Got to get your reaction.
Does the president still maintain that he never spoke with his son about his business dealings? Does he also say that he has never spoken to his son's business partners about his son's business dealings?
He maintains his same statements that he's made in the past. I would say, I know you're referring to Waves records that were released more than 10 years ago. I really don't have more detail or information on them.
What do you say?
Maria, Joe Biden stood on that debate stage and said he had nothing to do with his son Hunter's business dealings. Didn't know anything about his foreign business dealings.
Wait, is that when Chris Wallace shut down all conversation about it? He said to Donald Trump, voters want to hear something more substantial.
Right. I wasn't going to dunk on Chris. Been a rough week with CNN Plus.
Feel free.
We're going to go.
Who cares?
Okay. Yeah. CNN. Exactly.
Feel free.
CNN Plus pushing up daisies. Rest in peace. But Joe Biden stood on that stage, looked the American people in the eye, and said that he had nothing to do with his son Hunter's business dealings. That was a lie. He lied to the American public when they censored and shut down the Hunter Biden laptop scandal, which turned out to be 100% true. That shows the danger of centralizing all of the free speech in this country.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Dagan, this is not like some gossip story. I mean, this is influence peddling. And when you are now watching a war underway on Ukraine, and you have to question the commander-in-chief's decision-making in terms of, what to do with China, what to do with Ukraine, what to do with Russia, you recognize how important this story really is.
Indeed, it informs the most important policies coming out of this White House. And I'll note that the New York Post, again, with more on the Hunter Biden laptop, Joe Biden agreed to cover more than $800,000 in legal bills racked up by Hunter Biden, including legal fees tied to the winding down of the overseas business dealings, including that one of the Chinese companies he was involved with.
It was CEFC, I think. Yeah,
and he was footing the bills for the house. Or Hunter was in Delaware.
Yeah.
Like the money, we don't even need to follow the money trail. Like it's not even a trail. It's just sitting there in a big puddle.
Yeah,
it's in Joe Biden's front yard.
Yeah, which is why I always say this is not a Hunter Biden story. This is a Joe Biden story.
10% for the big guy.
Yeah, you got it. Jason, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. We'll be watching GETTR. Jason Miller.